This segment of the Next Gen Patriots podcast is sponsored in support of the West Virginia Tobacco Quit Line. If you or someone you love is ready to quit tobacco, you're just one phone call away. Trained coaches are available to provide guidance, resources, and support every step of the way. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW for free coaching, helpful resources, and encouragement to help you break free from tobacco. That's 1-800-QUIT-NOW to take the first step towards a healthier future. Miss Lynell Reed, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. Welcome to the Next Gen Patriots podcast, and hopefully this episode is enjoyable for you guys. This is an interesting one, and this is a topic that's not talked a lot about, and so we wanted to get an insights within somebody that has experienced it firsthand, and so we reached out to Miss Reed, and so she has kindly accepted the offer. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All righty, so let's deep dive into this here. So everybody has introduction, and so we kind of go through everybody's resume. That way everybody kind of has a background of who they're listening to, not speaking with. But anyways, so you graduated from Baileysville High School and then attended Southern Community College. And then after that, you started your career as a activity coordinator at Gary Nursing Home. From there, you went to the Mental Health Network and worked at Southern Highlands. And then you started your banking experience at AmeriBank in Welch, West Virginia. After that, you then went to the DHHR as a transition program, and then got married to your happily husband, Dr. Reed. So let's kind of break this down a little bit. So once you you graduated at Southern Community College. What did you graduate with?
Associate in Arts.
Okay.
Just a 2-year degree.
Nice. Awesome. So then I see on here that you did an internship at SAFE. So walk us through that. What was that like?
My mom was a social worker there.
Okay.
So I was just kind of like the gopher.
Yeah.
Just kind of like just get my feet wet into the working world.
Yep. Yep. Awesome. So then you went into your senior care facility there as a coordinator at Gary Nursing Home. Mm-hmm. So what did that entail?
Activities. We did bingo, of course, you have to do the bingo.
Yeah.
And then for those who couldn't get out of their beds, I had activities in their rooms, different activities, that whatever they could specifically do.
Nice. Yeah. I'm sure that was an interesting experience.
Oh, it was buckets of fun.
Okay, so then you went into, which is kind of a transition a little bit, into the mental health field. So what did you do at Southern Highlands?
I was in charge of 5 adults, various ages, way older than me, and then they were different mental capacities.
Okay.
And we would train them. Like I had one who I was teaching how to balance a checkbook, how to take care of their finances. And then you have one who couldn't understand that, and we were doing alphabet addition, just doing simple things. And then you had some who really couldn't function at all.
Yeah.
So it was basically life skills, I guess.
Yeah. Did you have an interest in that, or did you?
Yeah, I had an interest in that ever since I was little.
Really?
My grandmother was a bus driver for handicapped children.
Wow.
So I would ride along with her sometimes.
Yeah, you definitely have a passion. So what made you transition though from, I guess, working with seniors into, I guess, probably more younger adults?
Well, I really wanted to get into the mental health facility, but there was no openings.
Right.
So, and I needed a job, so I just took what was open right at the present time, and that was at the Gary Nursing Home.
What would you draw a correlation between the two that would be similar? What experiences that you learned as far as working as, the activity coordinator and then working at Southern Highlands? Working
with the people. Yeah. Just different. People are all different.
Yeah.
Just different capacities. Learning people. That was probably both jobs. You had to learn each individual person.
Yeah. Okay, so then walk us through your bank experience. So that is quite the flip there from working through people that don't maybe know what a bank is. That's a bad way of saying it. But then being a teller. So what transpired there?
I was a drive-through teller. I did both drive-throughs, and I was the only one on there, and that was a hard job.
Yeah, yeah. I think tellers are probably some of the hardest jobs. I don't know if I could ever do that.
You meet a lot of people. A lot of people, but you don't mess with people's money.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of math, demanding math on your feet. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it wasn't as Ameribank was not as tech savvy back then.
Okay.
So it was a lot of mental
school.
math,
Yeah.
old school math. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you went to the DHHR. So explain the transition program.
They were doing a program where when people were coming off their TANF checks, their welfare checks, and they were needing jobs, we were the people who stepped in and provided training and helped them to find positions within the county.
Wow. Okay. Now, was this state funded or is this like a federal thing?
It was a federal grant.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow, that's awesome. So, man, you've kind of had a similar widescape of everything you've done, even going into foster care. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So then you married your happily husband, Dr. Reed, and kind of walk us through that. How did you guys meet? You guys local, been friends for years, or?
We met at church.
Okay.
He came in. My cousin actually brought him into church.
Okay.
So I always tease my cousin that he brought my husband to me.
Yeah.
We just kind of hit it off, and things went from there.
Stuck together.
Together.
Awesome. So let's move on to the foster care section of it. So I want to read a few stats. That way the audience kind of has a thought behind the stats of what we're talking about. So there's roughly about 328,000 children in foster care in the U.S. And the others estimate about a total even higher. Some say that there's closer to 320 to 400,000 on a daily average. That's a pretty wide span in that field, and the average age of a child in foster care is 8 years old, and about 45% of children existing in foster care are united with their families, and around 27% are adopted from foster care when their permanent family is found. So with those stats in mind, kind of walk us through your journey. So how did you guys get into it? Was this something you have had planned, when you was younger? You always thought you would do something like this? Or is this something kind of came open? Or?
I don't think we really had it. It wasn't really in our thinking that that's what we were going to do.
Okay.
It just wasn't working for us to have children. And then we had a couple in our congregation who had done adoption.
Okay.
And then my cousin had done foster care to adoption.
Okay.
And we counseled, and we decided that this was a route for us.
Okay.
And it just one thing led to another, and we went to Children's Home Society, and they did. And then you have to follow the steps. The criminal background check, and then the home study. They have a social worker come in and make sure your home's the way it should be.
Right. Okay.
You have to take training courses. It's a 21-hour course now. I think it was like 27 hours beforehand.
Okay.
And I am part of the 21-hour course now. I am a co-trainer for that now.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. So you guys went through the training process, and then what did that entail after that? What was the process like?
You sit back and wait for a phone call.
Okay.
But we did want either like birth to 3. That was our age group. We did get a lot of a lot of phone calls for children like teenagers and that were really would be a struggle in this county because there's not a lot of things that teenagers could help counseling in this area for a teenager.
Yep. So how long did you guys have to wait from that span for your first call?
Oh, probably, I want to say it was less than 6 months. It wasn't very long.
Okay.
And we got a baby. He was 9 months old. He was medically neglected.
Okay.
But that whole case, our very first case was a textbook case. Mommy did exactly what she needed to do, followed everything that DHHR told her to do, and it just worked out fine. And to this day, we're still friends with her and
Wow.
still with the son.
That's awesome. That's probably unheard of, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, out of all of them, that's the only one we're in contact with still.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Okay. So then after that, so what does that process look like then once I guess not contract, but once that's over, do you just give the child back to the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He went back to his mom.
Okay.
And then, all the other ones that we have that went back to their, either they went back to their family or they went back to their parents.
Okay.
We don't have any contact with them.
Wow. I'm sure that's hard.
Yeah, it is. I'd love to know what's going on with them now. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't
That's
know.
rough. Yeah. Okay. So then what happened after that? Did you guys get any more kids, or how long was the span before
Yeah.
your next call?
Well, we had our first one, and we got him in January. And then in April, we got a call for a curly-haired baby boy,
Okay.
which is now our son, who's
Okay.
17. And then, let's see, our first one, I think it was in September, he left. He went back to his mom. And then we got a call for another little boy, and he was a newborn. He came straight from the hospital to us, and he was drug addicted.
Okay.
So we had our 17-year-old. Well, he wasn't 17 years old.
Right, right.
He was 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a newborn.
Okay.
And then let's see. So we had our third little boy. We had him for 18 months.
Okay.
And he ended up going with a step aunt
Okay.
to Illinois.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
and then after he was 18 months old, we don't know anything after that. I don't
Okay.
know what happened with him after that. And then we got a little girl. We brought her home from the hospital. She was drug addicted, and we had her for 9 months. And then, so we had our second little boy. He was 2 years old. And then we had the little girl. She was 6 months old. And then we got a call for another little boy, which is now our 14-year-old. And he was 6 weeks old. So we had a 2-year-old, a 6-month-old, and a 6-week-old.
All at the same time?
Same time. Yeah.
Oh, how did you do that?
Well, at the time, we had sold our house, and we were living with my mom. So my mom was a big help.
Oh,
So we were in
my.
transition of our moving and selling our house, and
Oh,
it
my
was
word.
a
Wow.
fun times.
Yeah.
And when you are adopting or in foster care,
Right.
you have, especially when you have newborns or toddlers, there's a program called Birth to 3.
Okay.
And if they need physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, they come into your home.
Okay.
So we had Children's Home Society social workers coming into the home. We had DHHR social workers coming into the home. We had occupational therapists. We had physical therapists. And we had speech therapists coming into the home. So we really, time-wise, we had people, it's like a revolving door of people all the time coming into the home.
Yeah.
On top of court cases coming in, you had to go before the judge for
Yeah.
the court cases. Then we had parental visits. Now our 6-week-old, he didn't have
Okay.
parent visits.
Now, let me ask you this. So what did that look like going in as for the court cases? Was you guys, I guess, the acting parent? Did you guys have to go in with them, or did they have like a social worker?
The social worker went in. The social
Okay.
worker was the voice, which sometimes was rough because the social workers have a lot on their plate. They have a lot of cases. So they don't know the specific of your child that you had in your care. So sometimes you couldn't tell. I would love to express what my child was
Right.
going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I couldn't
Right.
because I didn't have the voice in court.
Yeah.
It had to be the social worker.
That is hard. So obviously, I mean, each one probably had a different. You probably didn't work with the same social worker most
No,
of the time.
No.
Yeah.
2 of the children we had was from Wyoming County, and then 3 of them were from McDowell.
Okay.
I had the same social worker for the 2 boys we have now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is rough. So what kind of year, like, what year are we looking at here in the span of all this?
The year, let's see, 2009
Okay.
to 2011.
Okay. So you had how many kids in that span?
We had 6
6?
placed.
Okay.
We'd had 8, 6 placed in our home for weeks on end. We had 3 placed for just less than 24 hours.
Wow.
They were age 6, 3, and 1.
Wow.
So I had, for less than 24 hours, we had a 6-year-old, 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 9-month-old.
Yeah. What was that like? You know, kids at a young age still all have different personalities. What was that like trying to be the parent every time you had a new kid, and especially that many kids at one time? What was that like?
Sometimes it was rough. Yeah, sometimes it was rough.
Yeah.
And Don was starting in his career, and sometimes he was gone a lot.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was just me.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so you guys then adopted your 2 sons that you have currently now. So what was the process and to go into the adoption for
Our
them?
first one, it was a long process because Mom drug her feet.
Okay.
The judge tried to give Mom time and time and time and time again. By law, a child has to have a stable home within 18 months after being taken from their parents.
Okay.
Judge kept giving her 3 months here, 3 months here, 3 months here. She kept failing to appear for visits, failing to appear for court. She would name one dad, and it wouldn't be that dad, and we'd have to have parental testing, and just kept on and on, just kind of dragging their feet. Eventually, within 2 years, it was a full-fledged adoption.
Wow.
The father's parental rights were terminated, and then her parental rights were terminated.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. So then, so did you have your second son at the same time? Currently? Okay. So then how long did that process
His adoption was with a different judge, and it took less than, oh my gracious, probably within months.
take? Wow. Okay.
But he was severely abused,
Okay. Okay.
and his was just, no parental contact with the father. The mother got a little bit of contact, and then before long, the judge was just like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want this baby with anybody's family.
Yeah. What was that like, taking in someone like that? I mean, you're completely changing their life, but you can offer them that stability in their life.
We'd always had our first son. He was just neglected, and then all the other ones had been drug addicted. I had
Okay.
never really had a baby who had been abused, physically abused. So when I went to the hospital to pick him up, he had bruises on his. Sorry,
Yeah.
he had bruises on him.
Yeah.
He was only 6 weeks old,
Yeah.
so that was kind of hard.
Yeah.
And he had learned to cry with his mouth closed because he knew that he would get hurt.
Yeah.
So that was rough. That was
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It was hard to learn to parent a child who wouldn't allow you to, like, you couldn't hold him to burp him because he would fight because he thought, okay, I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And this is a
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
So, you have to change your parenting skills completely
Yeah.
for that. Having God helped a lot
Yeah.
because, it was a struggle.
Yeah.
But after he learned that he was safe, he learned to cry.
Yeah.
And he cried and he cried and he cried and he cried. But it's just a struggle sometimes.
Yeah. What was that like raising him then? Because obviously, I'm sure some of them same attributes, or not attributes, but same effects carried on into his
Yeah.
young youth.
Well, we had a lot of trouble with his eyes. He'd had a lot of eye surgeries. In fact, when I took him back for a checkup after we'd had him for a couple of weeks, I asked the eye doctor, what's his prognosis?
Yeah.
He said, well, I'll tell you, he said, I've had 7 that's been this severe, and he's the only one to survive.
Oh my.
So
Oh my.
when we brought him home, you know, he could see he was kind of lifeless,
Yeah.
like the life was not
Yeah.
in his eyes.
Yeah.
And we're a Christian home, and we had taken him to our pastor.
Yeah.
We had taken him to church, and we got him prayed for. It's almost like you could see the life back in his eyes.
Wow.
And he functions a little slower than some, but he functions.
Yeah.
And you know, in some areas he's got it locked down. He struggled with walking. We had to have braces put on his legs because one leg had been broken in 2 places and one had been broken in one. So
When you got him?
when I had got him,
Wow.
once he had to have been put into the hospital, they did a full body scan, and he had had 2 skull fractures. Both his legs had been broken, multiple rib fractures, multiple bruising, and his first skull fracture was at age 1 week.
And how old was he when you got him?
We got him at 6 weeks.
Oh my.
Yeah. So from
Oh,
1
my.
week to 5 weeks, because he had been placed in the hospital at age 5 weeks,
Yeah.
he had had that much abuse done.
How did you take care of him in that stage? I mean,
Well, he was already healing by that time.
okay.
Yeah, and babies heal
Okay.
fast.
Yeah. Wow.
So we know he struggled with his eyes, and he had 2 eye surgeries. And then his legs, when he started walking, he had to have braces. He had to have braces on his legs. But you'd never know that with his legs now.
Right. Man. Yeah. That's something I don't have tolerance for is child abuse. That's a whole different level. But anyways, all right. So there's some questions I want to ask you, and some of these questions are things that people think about, but don't really ask. We all think questions in our mind about different things, but we don't always ask them. And so I kind of wanted to get into this a little bit. So you talked about already, Don was just starting his career, and you guys were just sold your house. You have all these kids.
Yeah.
What was that like affecting your marriage? I mean, you guys probably hadn't been married very long either.
We'd been married since 2004, so this was 2009.
Okay.
We tried our best not to let it affect our marriage.
Yeah.
We didn't want to play the blame game on anybody.
Yep.
We know we were both, if we didn't agree on doing this together,
Yeah.
we weren't going to do it at all.
Yeah.
If we had any reservations, either one of us, we weren't going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys worked as a team.
We worked as a team.
Yeah. So you guys probably your outlook had to be differently than what you felt sometimes inside, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what challenges did you and your husband face during that time?
A lot of challenges was with scheduling.
Really?
Yeah. Having all these people come in your house, we never really felt like a family until the adoptions were final.
Yeah.
Because you were constantly, somebody was in your home.
Walk us through, what do you mean by people coming in your house?
Every week, every day, there was somebody in our home, like the physical therapist, all these different birth to 3 people.
Yeah.
Your social workers had to be in your home. And
Yeah.
so it's always something.
Yeah. Always had visitors. Huh.
And, once a week, I had to have visits with our first son's family.
Yeah. Man, wow, that's crazy. So what did you feel personally yourself? What did you feel that was hard for you to overcome while being a foster care parent?
Giving the babies back.
Yeah.
That was the hard one.
Yeah.
Especially when I gave the first one back, that was the hard one.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that you build up a callus against it, but you kind of build up you start building up a wall.
Yeah.
Everyone that you hand back, you build up a wall.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely rough. So I don't know, in your guys' situations, and I know it obviously changes how many kids you have, but how much funding do foster parents really get?
You don't really get that much.
Yeah.
I don't know the statistics of what it is now. When you first get a placement in your home, they do give you $200 or $300
Okay.
to go buy supplies that you
Okay.
need for that child.
Okay.
And then you do get a medical card, so all medical expenses are paid.
Okay.
But like, you don't get the clothing vouchers once they're adopted. You don't get clothing vouchers or anything like that.
Okay.
You do get a monthly stipend until they're 18, and I can't remember what it is right now.
Okay.
Off the top
Yeah.
of my head.
Yeah. So like nothing insurance related, is that taken care of, or is that included in the medical card?
Just a medical card.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys get the monthly stipend. You said you get $200 to $300
When
once
they
you get
first
the
come
child.
into your
Okay.
home. Yeah.
Okay. And then nothing else. This is solely on what your income is.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Is that something? How do you feel about that? Do you think that's something that should be changed or altered or set up differently? What's your thoughts?
I think it should be set up a little bit differently.
Okay.
I think that some foster parents may not use all that funding for their children.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
I think they use foster care as an income,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and these children don't get the money that
Yeah.
they need. Because I can guarantee you that our kids, we spent way over what the
Right.
state ever paid us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most parents would.
Yeah.
What? So if it was you, if it was up to you, what would you do differently? If the decision was up to you on funding, what would you do differently?
What I do differently? I don't know. I haven't really thought of it.
Okay. What challenges did you guys come into with funding? Was it not enough income coming in, or was it not enough support from the state?
We never really had a much of a challenge with the funding.
Okay.
I think we would have had it been like we'd had to take care of medical on our own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because our first son's middle name is accident prone. He's had a lot of accidents. He's been in the hospital a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I don't think there would be any. We've not had any trouble with that way.
What benefits do they get once they're adopted? Do they keep some of those benefits, or is it solely on you?
You still keep the monthly
Okay.
stipend,
Okay.
the monthly check.
Okay.
And then you still keep the Medicaid card. It's a different. It's not like the Medicaid that everybody has.
Right.
This
right.
is like this is adoption Medicaid, so it's a different.
Okay.
It's in a different bracket.
Okay.
So it covers a lot more
Okay.
stuff.
And is it pretty good for
Oh,
the
yeah.
most part? Have you
Yeah.
guys been able? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
covered everything so far. It's not covered. It will cover braces, but you had to go whenever our first son was getting braces. He had to go to Charleston. I didn't want to, so
Right.
we just out of pocket that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's quite the expense either way.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask you this. Obviously, it's been, a little over 10 years since you guys first started your journey. So what does the foster care system look like currently now compared to it does 10 years ago?
10 years ago, it was more traditional foster care, which
Okay.
meaning we wanted to be foster parents.
Yeah.
Now it's more kinship foster care,
Okay.
which is great-grandparents, grandparents, aunts and uncles taking care of children.
Okay.
We see that a lot more now. It's even the curriculum,
Yeah.
yeah, that word,
Yep. Yep.
has changed. It's no longer traditional teaching. It's
Okay.
kinship, how to navigate taking care of your grandchild and how to navigate taking care of your nieces and nephews.
Okay. Wow. What has improved?
The training.
Training?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay. What kind of training? So obviously you said that you have to take what was it, that class?
It's a 7-week class.
Okay.
21 hours.
Okay.
It's NTDC now, National Training, and I can't even remember what it all stands for.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more geared towards how to deal with behaviors
Okay.
of the child that's coming into your home.
Okay.
How to deal with, if you have a grandparents that's taking these grandkids in, how to deal with your child being the one who lost their children.
Yeah. Yeah.
How to deal with your child who's maybe on drugs or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the reason may be.
Yeah, that's a different
Because
way
you
of looking at it.
can't, say your son lost their custody of their children, he can't come into their home.
Right.
If you have the grandchildren, he can't come into your home.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that would require some extensive
So
training.
that would be really, it would be,
Yeah.
it would be hard.
Yeah. Do you think everybody should know? Like, do you feel like a lot of parents should be, I'm not like trained, but do you feel like as a good rule of knowledge, do you feel like majority of parents should be trained in that extensive knowledge, just knowing foster care?
Yeah,
Yeah, do you?
I do.
Yeah.
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 I think everybody should take these courses. When we first get into these courses, the people are like, you can't tell me how to parent. I've been parenting for 17 years and I've been parenting for 50 years. You know, you can't tell me how to parent.
Yeah.
But by the time they leave these courses, they're like, you have taught me so much. I never realized that I could do this. And, you know, we're not telling people how to parent. We're telling people, here's an extra tool to put in your toolbox.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
a good way to look at
because
it,
there's the children today are different than the kids that you raised 20 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And what some of these kids have been through, and the emotional stuff that you're going to have to deal with when you become a foster parent, you're going to have to know some stuff and how to deal with this.
Yeah.
You're going to have to know what kind of baggage these kids come in with.
Yeah.
You're going to have to know how to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it. So what do you do with the training? You said you was certified or did
I'm the
something?
co-trainer.
Okay, so what does that entail?
Right now they're all on Zoom.
Okay.
They used to be in person, but now they're on Zoom.
Okay.
And it's through Concord.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And we do the entire state now. So sometimes I have people from Wheeling and the eastern Berkeley County and all over places.
So you work with a trainer. So what do? You just come on
Robin
Zoom?
Pruitt's the trainer.
Okay.
And she's at her house in Mercer County, and I'm in my house in McDowell County. And, you know, she does the classes, and she does the PowerPoint, and I basically do make sure you're paying attention online and answer your questions, take care of the technical stuff. And
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. That's awesome. Okay. So you said how long did these classes? 7 week? Is what
It's
you
a
said?
7-week course.
Okay. Now is that funded once you start your once you?
Yes, you don't have to pay for them.
Okay. Okay.
No, you have to do it through whether it's DHHR or Children's Home Society or whatever you're going through for
Right.
adoption.
Okay.
You do have to go through them.
Is this a state funded thing or is this something that's like federally funded?
I'm not quite sure. I think it might be federally funded.
Okay, so it's not just like a state organization.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
okay. Wow, that's awesome. So that opens the field for a lot of different people. Wow. So really, you guys could almost outsource if you wanted to.
And they're actually, they had switched over to just like the new, it used to be Pride program, which was traditional
Okay,
foster care.
Yeah.
Where they switched over to the kinship foster care now. They're actually going to add another 4-hour course to incorporate some more traditional. So if you take this and you have taken it and guys, say you have your nieces and nephews and you decided, I'd like to open my home up to other children.
Yeah.
Take those other 4 hours and you can open your house up to the
Wow, that's awesome.
other children.
So what other additional training can you do, or is that pretty much the extent of
There
it?
is other courses you can do
Okay.
just to kind of like refresh your certificate. They offer courses like how to navigate the internet.
Okay.
You know, to make sure that your child's where they should be on the internet.
Yep.
Drug exposure. There's all kinds of different ones that they have. Self-care, how to take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of that foster.
That's a good one. Yeah.
One of the things that they say is when you're on an airplane
Okay.
and they're saying that, you're getting ready to crash or whatever, the first thing you put that oxygen mask on yourself because you can't take care of the person beside of you if you're not taking care of yourself. So that's one of the things that they stress, taking care of yourself.
That's good. That's good. So does your training, does it ever like expire, like your certificate, or is it something you need to renew, or are you good till you?
No, it doesn't expire.
Wow, that's awesome.
It
Okay.
does help if you keep your hours active.
Okay.
Yeah. Take these extra little courses.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So I wanted to ask you this. Obviously, you guys have dealt a little bit with this. So how is trauma being addressed differently today for foster children?
I think it's being addressed more today.
Okay.
I think people see it more. It's more out in the open. It's not something that's hidden anymore.
Yeah.
Beforehand, it was hidden because of maybe shame, whereas now it's more out in the open because of how it's affecting the children.
Yeah.
I think social workers and everybody that's involved are working towards helping the child
Yeah.
to get through it.
Yeah. I don't know if what I see from it, and I could be completely wrong, and you can correct me, but what you probably don't realize is it eventually affects you in the end, even though that child's going through the more mental process of it.
Yeah.
So why do you feel like trauma behaviors are increasing and foster parents are truly, or do you feel foster parents are truly prepared for them?
I don't think you can ever really truly be prepared for it because
Really?
they're all different,
Yeah.
all different traumas.
Yeah.
Because every kid processes them different. You may have one who processes it in rage. You may have one who processes it in being totally quiet and just internally processes it.
Yeah. I guess that's true. That's one way of looking at it. So, do you feel like they are diagnosing kids too quickly instead of addressing the root problem? Okay.
Yeah. Let's medicate them instead of fixing the problem.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Okay. So let's deep dive into that a little bit more because that is very common. Why do you feel that way?
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier for people just to pop a pill instead of finding out the root cause. Why is this child behaving like this?
Yeah.
Let's find out. Let's dig and find out.
Yeah. Is that something that advocate that they do say in training, or is that something you
they
train
do.
for? Do you? Okay.
This training, there's actually one whole session that dives into that. you
Wow.
know.
Okay.
Let's talk about finding ways instead of saying, "Oh, let's just give you this," instead of
That's awesome.
finding out why.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, because it seems like nowadays a lot of these kids are like, yeah, I'm on some kind of antidepressant pill, and and then they really don't get to really
All it does
experience
is
life.
just suppress what's really happening.
Yeah.
It's
If the
never you're
situation's
never
still
really
there.
gonna-
Yeah.
it's still there.
Yeah. Okay. So what advice would you give parents that are interested in becoming foster care parents?
Just do it. Just go ahead and start the process. Get it done. Open your heart. Don't be scared to get hurt, because you will get hurt.
Yeah.
Just open your heart and love.
Yeah.
And that's what some of these kids need. They just need love.
Yeah.
A lot of them they don't even know what that even is.
Yeah. Yeah.
We always had newborns. We never had any, that could verbally start talking to us. But
Right.
where I've been working with this program, I can see some of the parents, they'll express some situations that's been going on. There's just a lot of kids who don't even know what love is.
Yeah. Yeah. So one last question. What is one thing that you've learned, probably one of the biggest things that you've learned from being a foster care parent?
One of the biggest things. I guess one of the biggest things I've learned is it's okay to just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what I had to do. Is just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Don't be a scheduler. Don't be,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was my personality before. Everything
Right.
had to be like in a row.
Right.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it has to go
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. It's gonna come. So you got to be
Yeah. You got to be able
prepared
to
for when
go,
it comes
just go with it.
and just go with it.
Yeah. You never know when you would get that phone call of the baby that would need you.
Yeah.
Or you get the phone call, hey, you got a court date that's been bumped up, or
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the wise advice and sharing your story with us. We greatly appreciate it. And you guys heard it first. So if you're ever interested in foster care, we definitely can share some links and give out your contact if anybody's ever interested. So once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys on the next one.